And just like that, I packed my bags and moved west, and I'm officially the newest member of the Colorado Buffaloes. Gotta say, it feels good to be reunited with Coach Prime and my teammates. There's a lot of hype surrounding this team, with many people not seriously looking at us as contenders. But I've been an underdog my whole life, and in this first game against Colorado State, we're coming out as a team ready to prove the college football world wrong yet again. And it wouldn't take long for me to make an impact on this game, as on this second and long, I would read this hitch route perfectly, bait the quarterback up, and make the diving one handed interception, my first of the season. And I would prove to be ready to hit as well, as I'd come out here early in the second and lay the quarterback out on this QB sneak. And with the game already out of reach, I would field the punt here on our 46, and I would bob and weave in and out of traffic on my way to my first punt return touchdown of the season. And we would wrap up a huge win against Colorado State in our season opener. We would come out in week 2 against North Dakota State ready to hit, as I'd read this QB scramble on first down and I'd come up with a big sack for a 2-yard loss. And with the game under our control, I would field this punt here in the second quarter and I would break off a big return down the right sideline. 68-yard punt return, my second of the season. And our defense will wrap up a defensive clinic, finishing with a ton of sacks as we would lock up the 30-point victory at home. Now I'll come out in week 3 against Fresno State ready to make a statement, running sideline to sideline, making big plays, followed up with this forced fumble on a vicious hit midway through the first quarter. And on the very next drive, I would read this screenplay, make a break on the ball, and get the pick six, my first interception return of the season. And our defense would be all over the ball in this game, as our boy Travis Hunter would get this pick early in the second quarter. But it didn't stop there. I was playing sideline to sideline in this game, and that extended to special teams as well, as early in the third, I would take this punt return back to the house, my third punt return touchdown of the season. And with the game way out of reach, we come out here on first down early in the fourth quarter, and I would give this quarterback a crazy open look, and he would throw that curl route, and I'm on it for my second pick of the game and my second pick six for a total of 3 scores in this victory. And that would lead us to a huge win over Fresno State, with me being crowned player of the game for the first time this season with a crazy stat line. And just that quick, my name is circulating in conversations with some of the top stars in the nation. I'd ride that confidence into this week 4 matchup against Pac-12 foe Oregon State. And on this second and 10, I'm in cover 2, and I'd pass off the intermediate route and break on the underneath route perfectly, getting my 4th pick of the season and yet another pick 6. And we'd be up for a majority of this game, but Oregon State would claw back late in the 4th, and down by 2, the game would come down to one final Hail Mary attempt, but our teammate would get the sack and preserve our undefeated season. Up next is a matchup against undefeated Oregon at home, and this game will be a defensive battle. Scoreless after 1, and I will break it open late in the first half with a long punt return touchdown down the right sideline to go up 14-3 at the break. But in the second half, the Ducks would battle back, fueled by Bo Nix and Chase Cota, as Cota would make 2 big grabs against our defense in the late game. And with our hold on the lead slipping, I knew I had to make a play. Holding on to a 13-point lead late with Oregon driving, I'd read this underneath route perfectly and get a clutch interception, sealing the victory, and I'd be one step away from taking it all the way back to the house. Up next, we'd have to tackle Arizona State on the road. As the nation's leader in picks, I knew I wouldn't get many balls thrown my way, but the quarterback tried me on this third and medium and squeezed the ball in on the sideline, but I was there to make the third down stop. Fueled by that big play, I'd come out and field the punt at the 30, find an alley, and turn on the Jets up the left sideline for my 5th, that is right, 5th punt return of the season. Now, Coach Prime told me I was starting to remind him of a young Prime at Florida State, and I felt like it too, as up 9, I'd put the game away, clocking my 6th interception of the season, propelling us to a perfect 6-0. Our matchup against Arizona was shaping up to be a trap game, as Arizona led a long drive and went up early. Their quarterback kept finding open guys, and I kept finding myself having to clean up after my teammates missed tackles. Midway through the second, I'd get caught peeking on the play action, and in my attempt to get back, I'd give up the big pass play on the crossing route. Arizona would eventually go on to score on that drive, and I couldn't stop thinking about how sloppy I've been playing. Leading the nations in picks was getting to me, and I wasn't letting the game come naturally. I knew I needed a play to reset my mojo, and it'd come midway through the third as I fielded this kickoff and took it all the way back to the crib for a touchdown. But Arizona wouldn't quit, as they'd make it a 2-possession game early in the 4th. And on this 2nd and 10, I'd get absolutely freaked on this shake route, and the receiver would make this a game again with a 56-yard touchdown catch and run. This game would come to a last-second Hail Mary, and it felt like every Colorado player tipped this pass as it hit the ground incomplete, and we continued our perfect season. Now, I knew we couldn't play this sloppy against UCLA. Everybody needed to be on their game, especially me. UCLA ran a lot of read options and ball fakes, and I couldn't get left out of position so often like I did against Arizona. My patience would be rewarded on a 3rd down, late in the first, as I'd sit in my zone, watch the quarterback scramble right, and he'd throw it across field right to me, and I'd run it back for a touchdown, my 10th overall score of the season. We'd bottle up this offense for the rest of the game and get back to form with a 31-point victory on the road. We're the real deal now, and I'd get some crazy news before our game against Washington as I learned from Coach Prime that I was currently 3rd in Heisman voting. I already proved my place in FBS ball. Now the rest of the season would be aimed at proving my doubters wrong. This game was a sloppy battle in the snow, and it took a clutch interception by our teammate to put us in position to take the early lead. Their quarterback struggled all game as the conditions either had his receivers dropping passes or him missing them altogether. Up by 31, I still needed to make a play, and I relied on what has become normal for me as I fielded this early 4th punt, stretched it to the sideline, and coasted to the end zone for yet another touchdown. We'd face Kyle at home next, and I'd come out on this 1st down with a cover 2 assignment, but I knew the motion man was being used to free up the underneath route, so I followed my man across the middle, and I'd get interception number 8 and take it all the way back for the pick 6, breaking the single-season team record in the process. We led by a large margin in this game, and I'd activate the kill code as I fielded this late 2nd quarter punt, got stuck behind a teammate, but squeaked out to the left sideline for a score. And we'd cruise to another big victory, and with 10 wins, we're looking like a national title favorite. But we'd have to put up or shut up against Caleb Williams and USC. We took the early lead, but USC would be driving early in the 2nd as Caleb Williams shrugged us off en route to a big 1st down run. He'd have my number again as I left my zone on this 2nd and goal and gave him a free lane to scramble into the end zone. Despite this, we'd still be up for majority of this game. Now, not many quarterbacks try me deep, but with his comeback attempt slipping away, Caleb would go over the top to his receiver, and I'd match him stride to stride and go up for the clutch INT. He'd come back the very next drive and throw a pick to Travis Hunter, and that all but sealed the game as we'd go on to win by 20. Our season finale game was against Utah, and all we needed was a win to lock in a conference title berth. We were handling business early, but I'd get caught peeking in the backfield and give up this big 34-yard pass over the top. After giving up a score, we'd extend our lead, but Utah wouldn't give up, putting together another scoring drive midway through the 3rd. I had to send a message that this was our time to shine as I'd field the kickoff and turn on the Jets down the left sideline for a 90-yard return, setting up a score by our offense. Now, I know I said not many quarterbacks try me deep, but I got caught lurking a 2nd time and got hit over the top for yet another big gain. Coach Prime was not happy, and I knew I had to get one back. Late in the 4th, with the game well out of reach, I read the short route and I got interception number 10 to lock up a perfect regular season and set up a rematch against Oregon. Now, this game was a battle, much like our first meeting, and Bo Nix came out looking sharp, and he had to because we had the running game bottled up. But whenever Oregon needed a play, Bo Nix hit one of his guys in space perfectly. Bucky Irvin gave Oregon a slim lead late in the 3rd quarter, but Travis Hunter would come up clutch with a pick 6 on the very next drive to give us the 3-point lead. Now, after bottling up the run all game, Irvin broke loose on a huge 75-yard touchdown run to give Oregon the lead yet again. Our offense couldn't answer, and I'd have to come out on 1st down early in the 4th and get this clutch interception to give us a chance. Our offense would continue to stall, and Bo Nix would hit Chase Cota for the game-clutching touchdown to hand us our first loss of the season in the Pac-12 championship. To make matters worse, we got snubbed for the Heisman, finishing 3rd, even though we led the nation in interceptions and return touchdowns. We'd fall to the 4th seed and have Kansas State in the Peach Bowl. I came into this game angry with something to prove after losing the Pac-12 title and Heisman, and Kansas State just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time as I pick off the quarterback's first pass attempt of the game. After going up 3 scores, I was looking to end the game early as I took this punt return and almost got into the end zone after some crafty moves. They say the true mark of a shutdown corner is being able to lock up an entire side of the field, but that's only partly true. Coach Prime taught me that the best corners in the world shut down the entire field without the quarterback even knowing, which is what I did here as I bait this corner route and make a break on the ball for my second pick of the game. With the game in hand, we just needed to stay focused, and on this first down, the quarterback got desperate and aired it out, and I was there for my third pick of the game, bringing me to 14 on the season. This big win would set us up for a national title berth against the Buckeyes of Ohio State. This game was shaping up to be all us as we'd read this curl route and break on the ball for a record-breaking 15th interception, stretching our lead to 2 scores. That joy would be short-lived as Julian Fleming would take over this game. He'd moss me on this jump ball in the back of the end zone, and on the very next possession, he'd catch the ball on the crossing route and get a very lucky spot. We wouldn't score again, and Ohio State would win the national title. Now, all in all, I can't call the season a failure, as we broke many all-time records and put Colorado football on the map. With all eyes on us, there's no doubt that I'm coming back next year to run it back.